Well, I'm back from the Las Vegas Central Valley Reptile Expo. Thank you to Neil and everybody at Central Valley Reptile Expo, Jason, everybody who put on such a wonderful show. It was at the Santa Fe station, just past the strip, and it was a wonderful, wonderful time. So if you're wondering, Riley, where was the video Tuesday? I've been behind on the videos. I was busy, and so you're getting it now. So let's talk about Vegas, because what happened in Vegas ain't staying in Vegas as far as this video goes. So, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about what happened and just superimpose clips as we kind of go and give you a little bit of a quick run through of how our show went. So, first of all, coming from California, we drove, and the environment out there on the drive out is beautiful. Just the desert scenery, the environment is quite different than out here, and it's really something to see. So I really enjoyed the drive out there. I drove the whole way, and my wife was passenger princess the entire time. So it was about 8.5 hours, so not terrible. Made 2 stops for gas and lunch, and that was it. So it was pretty easy, straightforward, and yeah, made it in good time. Left early Friday morning, got there with plenty of time to set up and hang out. So then proceeds the wonderful weekend. So obviously, being across the state line in Nevada, there's actually a fair amount of different animals that you can and can't keep between California and Nevada. So you can't keep gopher snakes out there, but you can keep bull snakes, whereas you can keep both out here. Even if it's an albino, does not matter. Out there, they have an abundance of axolotls, which was really cool to see a lot of those. Some wild types, some albinos, everything like that. Various sizes, all captive born and bred, of course, and that was really neat. There were hedgehogs, there were ferrets that we got to play with, so that was a lot of fun too. I've definitely known people with ferrets here in the States, but in California anyway. Yeah, technically they're not legal, so it was very fun to get to see those little things and check those out. So that was kind of like the main standout as far as like some of the stuff that was different. There were also toucans there and various birds. I think you can have those here too, but just a little bit of a different vendor basis. So it was really neat to see some diversity. One of my favorites was seeing a lot of the amphibians there, and in particular these little like green glass frogs of like Kermit the Frog. Those are really cool. There was a former reptile keeper, a friend of ours, Andrew Bryan, who's there, and he brought an owl for some education there, so that was really neat to see. So a lot of the folks, or everybody who went through, got to go see a really neat bird there on display. Some of our friends over at Fear and Fascination, that's their local show, they're Vegas locals, Fear to Fascination, and they brought their ball python that has a dog and an alien head in the stamp head. It was actually very impressive. It made all those emoji balls kind of second rate after seeing that, so that was really neat to see. But yeah, overall, you know, got to see a lot of cool animals. It was a smaller show, but you know, there were still over 3,000, 4,000 people that walked through the door there, and there were a lot of people that actually came for both days. So you had locals, and then you had people that made a destination out of it. So it was pretty busy the entire time, and that was fabulous. It was great to see. Saturday was packed. It was an insane busy day. A lot of people. I ended up doing a lot more talking and educating on Saturday, but then Sunday, the return folks, more people, plus other vendors. I was able to make quite a few sales on Sunday, and it ended up being a great weekend overall. There was a really neat moment where I went over to say hi to my friends over at Millipedes and More, Craig and his buddy, and just went over there to say hi, and I noticed they had a bunch of really great stuff. My wife ended up picking up some various mantids for one of her coworkers, and while she was picking up those mantids, I noticed there were some really neat ant species on their display. And so I got completely schooled and educated and basically geeked out looking at all these various species of ants, various colonies and sizes, levels of establishment, solitary queens. You know, it was just really interesting, and just sat there and learned about ants. And you know, aside from that, there was a very large presence of jumping spider vendors, tarantula vendors, and I really loved seeing that, because that's all the stuff that has like become popular for the right reasons, right? It's cute, it's little, you can keep it ethically, you can do everything right for those animals, you can give them an abundance of space, and it's very small and affordable. And so I love seeing that, and it's just kind of spilling out into the rest of the hobby, and it's getting people over their fears. People that were once, you know, maybe scared of spiders and tarantulas in general are now coming into the hobby because of how sort of relatable they are, you know, with that, just those cute little tiny animals. It's hard to be afraid of something like that. So it's really nice to see the industry in a state of, like, you know, just fervor and health and vigor. Everything was just kind of growing and looked healthy out there. So it was nice to see. Yeah, it was really cool. There were some really cool points where I was learning some cool stuff. I was having a good time, and it was just nice to see that everything was doing well. Vendors looked busy and everybody looked happy. So it was a good time. Okay, I'll stop yapping about everything that happened there. I know plenty of you are like, well, Riley, did you bring stuff home? What'd you do? How'd you do? So yeah, I moved some animals, sold quite a few carpet pythons, a hognose, corn snake, some things like that here and there. And I did bring some stuff back. Now, this was not a super show circuit. This is, again, the Central Valley Reptile Expo circuit, which I will be, again, in a week and a half coming up down there in Del Mar for the same show circuit there. But they had an auction on Saturday night. Even though it's not the US Arc and the Super Show, this auction was to benefit the SoCal Herp Association and Rescue, SCHAR, SCHAR, and they're like the #1 reptile rescue pretty much in the state, if not, you know, the area in the region for reptiles and exotic pets. And I've been very fortunate to have gotten to know Jason and the folks over there at SCHAR over a long time, even before I moved up to Sacramento here. They're good people. So that's actually how I got connected into the show circuit. And so donated an animal to the auction, and then proceeded to have some fun. So, well, actually, even before we got to the auction, before the show started, I bought this really cool stone rattlesnake sort of looking sculpture, because it just stood out. And what I really need to do is get like some mineral oil onto this thing and like really polish it up so you can like see those colors and those cool spots and everything. But this was pretty sweet. My wife found some cool little trinkets, and this was all over at Rachel's Rock. So got to give her a plug. She was super nice. And she ended up winning the 50-50 raffle on Sunday, which I was the honorary drawer, and she donated the money right back to the rescue. So hats off to her. So we had earlier talked about the various things that are and aren't legal here in other states, like the ferrets and hedgehogs and things. And although I'm pretty sure they're probably not legal out there, or maybe there's some sort of permits, I'm not familiar with what is and isn't legal entirely out there. But I did manage to get myself in the auction a California legal Gila monster. Ta-da! Now, all jokes aside, I know there are plenty of people who think the 3D printed popularity in the reptile hobby and their presence at shows has gotten out of control. I think this just is very impressive. Like, how cool is this? Like, if kids want something, but they're not mature enough or ready to take care of an animal, but they still have that inspiration, that passion, this is a great way to bridge that gap and hold them over until they get old enough and mature enough and ready. I think this is wonderful for parents when they're going through and they've just come out to just see the show. Inevitably, kids want something. Well, you're not just going to impulse buy an animal. Well, you can get them a toy, you can get them something really awesome, and maybe it will continue to inspire them. They'll do the research and prove to their parents that, okay, this isn't a phase, they're really into it, and then it becomes a family thing. So I'm actually a big fan of it when it's done as like a small portion of shows, and the particular vendors are chosen specifically like this show did. So that was really cool. So that was my first auction win. All right. This one prompted from my wife the serious question of, where is this going to fit in the car? How are we going to get in there? Because my wife, myself, all my show supplies, a tub full of animals, and a 4-foot cooler for transporting some animals for the zoo bag. We shoved all of that in my Subaru. So yeah, I got this from the local wood vendor who was there, and I've been always wanting to get a nice piece of wood like this and mount a base to it, put some wheels on it, and use it as sort of like a perch for animals while I'm cleaning. So say I've got to take out a jungle carpet over here, lift that animal out, put it on the perch, do my cleaning, ta-da, put it back. So that's been something I've been wanting to do for a while. It was there, it was a good piece, I did it. Sorry, honey. My third and final auction purchase was actually surprising. Daenerys Mother of Spiders, they ended up winning this and donating it right back, and I ended up winning the second round, and it was a whole herping kit. So you have this really big, heavy-duty, like serious heavy-duty snake hook from Lugardi, and I may actually use this one in the snake room for the Apodora just because it is so heavy-duty, and take the 40-inch sort of basic Midwest Tongs one and designate that one as my field hook, because this thing is like too nice, really heavy duty. So very, very happy with that. And it came with an entire herping kit, and I spoke with the shop that donated this particular item, or set of items, and they're a Las Vegas based shop out there, and they are called Ninth Island Reptiles. So look them up, give them a shout. They had some wonderful animals at their booth. All their employees were really nice. I thought this was a really creative sort of item to put into an auction, and I'll tell you why. Because who doesn't like herping? They like herping. Came with the backpack, which is a Cotopaxi backpack, flashlights, tank top, first aid kit, snake bite kit, which is kind of funny, a snake hook, the big snake hook, some tongs, and some gloves. So first aid kit, that's awesome. Can't go wrong with that. The snake bite kit is quite hilarious. There's like good stuff in here. There's cleaning stuff and antiseptic ointments and stuff, say you cut yourself or whatever, but I don't know. These things always make me laugh. Comment below your thoughts on this. I'm not going to say anything. But regardless of that, this backpack's pretty sweet. It opens up kind of just like boom, you can just open it right up. It's not like a top open, it kind of folds right open. It's water resistant, or at least waterproof ish. I should probably, read that. Durable, sustainable, guaranteed. Yep. 100% for the planet. Yep. Cool. USB rechargeable flashlight. There's a bunch of different settings. Black light. There's that. Oh God, blinded myself. Jesus. Oh Okay, I gotta play with that some more. That was bright, but USB rechargeable, so that's pretty sweet. Oh yeah, and then there are some gloves in here, which that's always rad. Oh yeah, snake hook, snake tongs, always good to have, especially if you find little rattlesnakes or something like that. And then some good gloves. Pretty stoked. So this is a really awesome kit. This, the big hook, and I have a venomous bucket that will all probably end up living in my car once I clean it out from the madness of these shows. But I just had to show you that. That was like one of the coolest of things I thought. I've seen in an auction before, I donated like a full herping kit. So hats off to Ninth Island Reptiles. That's a great item. Very good. So what's a reptile video without actually including a reptile in it, right? So if you've made it this far, kudos to you. Thank you. If you skipped ahead, I still appreciate you. So I did make one, and I mean one, animal purchase for myself. I happened to be vending across the aisle from Nick at Fork Tongue Farms, and Nick's been around for a long time. He likes what he likes, and his table was chock full of what was only a small percentage of what he really has, of some of the most beautiful array of various colors and morphs of corn snakes, king snakes, milk snakes, bull snakes, hognose, everything, all the really little awesome colubrids that just make such wonderful pets and have a huge array of morphs, right? And have either been super popular at one point in time, are super popular, coming back around. I think personally colubrids, yes, we hear you. I think personally colubrids have been making a huge rebound in popularity, and partially thanks to this species that I'm sure y'all can hear by now, this little hognose here. And I can't get her to sit still for you. There we go. There she is. This right here is a very grumpy and pea-flinging super Arctic Conda female. And I had the pleasure or torture of staring at her all weekend from across the hall, across the aisle, and she's just beautiful. I needed some super Arctic stuff in my life. The reason being I wanted to play with Arctic stuff and know exactly what's Arctic and what isn't, and learn that way. And she just gorgeous. I love how aberrant the Conda is with super Arctic. I love the potential for super Arctic and what it can do and how wacky it makes things. And I'm just really excited to watch her grow and see that pink and white kind of come in. Yes, you're beautiful. Very, very happy. I gotta go wash my hands now. All right, so that's pretty much the wrap. That's the long and short of what happened out at Las Vegas. Promise nothing weird. This isn't like the movie The Hangover. And everything was smooth. I went to bed early. We enjoyed our $2 margaritas, $4 margaritas by the pool one night and just took it easy. Yeah, it was really cool. It was a much needed break. Thank you for everybody who sent sentiments and everything, condolences for passing of our boy Jimmy. So appreciate that. This trip was unfortunately timed perfectly to help us get through that. So here we are. But yeah, hope everybody enjoyed hearing how the Las Vegas show went. If you're on the fence about coming out, I highly suggest you come out, make a trip of it, make a weekend of it. It's a lot of fun. Can't go wrong out in Vegas. And I promise you won't spend too much money. So it was great. I definitely recommend keeping an eye on the Central Valley Reptile Expo show circuit and going to as many of those as you can. So Del Mar, see you in a couple weeks. But that's going to do it for me in this video. Go show my sponsor some love, Reptile Husbandry Designs. Get yourself all that 3D printed awesome goodness, enrichment, perching, hides, you name it, for your snakes, animals, reptiles. Use code RR10 to get you 10% off at checkout. If you're going to be doing any shipping this year, hit up my folks Reptiles Express. They have all the things you need: supplies for shipping, temperature and climate control, labels, you name it. I actually need to get some more boxes from them. I've been shipping out a bunch of snakes. So use code Riley50 at Reptiles Express to get you 50% off of up to 10 shipping labels per customer. It's going to start you saving some money. The more you spend with them on those shipping labels, the better your discount will accrue over time. So save you some money, use those discounts. With the money you save, run on over to USARK in USARK, Florida. If you're not already a member, I highly recommend you become a member. They're the only people working to keep unjust and unfair, sneaky reptile legislation off the books nationwide. Do a fantastic job of supporting us, and the least we can do is support them back. So strength in numbers. If you're not already a member, please go change that and sign up. And speaking of support, signing up, anything like that, if you want to support what we got going on over here, like being appraised of everything that's going on before it's public, access to the Discord, discounts on merch, early access to babies and things like that doesn't go public, like those albino Darwins and a lot of things that haven't been making it to the website but are still getting snatched up. Patreon. I really appreciate all my Patreon supporters. It's a great crew, it's a wonderful community, and it's growing. We're having a lot of fun over there in the Discord, so just look me up, Riley Jimison on Patreon, and yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. We should be back to our regular programming, back to Tuesdays, I believe. So, all right, hope you all enjoyed. See ya.